About the engines of growth across the country, the chairman of Larsen Toubro, Subrahmanyan, has reignited the 70-hour work week debate, triggering criticism from netizens across the country. Now, during an employee interaction, Subrahmanyan was asked why Larsen Toubro, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, was still making employees work on Saturdays. And in response, Subrahmanyan replied that he regrets not being able to make his employees work on Sundays, even saying, and I quote, "For how long will you stare at your wife?" is the pitch which came in from the L&T chief. Subrahmanyan further gave the example of China and how it beat the United States with a 90-hour work week culture in comparison to a 50-hour work week culture in the United States. Now, actor Deepika Padukone, a staunch advocate for mental health awareness, slammed this remark. Badminton player Jwala Gutta also blasted the L&T chief, calling his remarks misogynistic. L&T has now issued a statement after the backlash, backing the chairman's comments, saying extraordinary outcomes require extraordinary effort.
At two stages in my life. One was when I was attempting to start a newspaper for a very large conglomerate in India. And the second was when I was starting up my own company. And let me tell you that it is brutal. It is very difficult. And you have to sacrifice everything. And today's generation probably also does this in many startups, in many areas which we do not see and recognize at the moment. They're working all the hours that are available to them. And that is not necessarily a good thing. But does it exist? It does.
And we're opening our phone lines. Call us in and share your views. A 90-hour work week, is it feasible or overwhelming? You can call us at 0120-640-3751 and share your views when it comes to this pitch that has come in from the L&T chairman, saying that a 70-hour work week should be implemented across the country. Share your views. What do you have to say when it comes to the work week and work culture in the nation today? Is a 90-hour work week feasible or overwhelming? Is the question we are posing to our viewers. You can call us at 0120-640-3751. I'm also joined by my colleague Pallavi Ghosh on the broadcast. So Pallavi, after Narayan Murthy, the L&T chief also sparking the same level of debate, saying that to become Viksit Bharat by 2047, many experts are saying that the work culture needs to change across the country, that it has to be 70 to 90 hours per week. But clearly netizens across the country saying that when it comes to inflation, the rate of wage growth, that is something that is not kept up when it comes to working in the 21st century in the country. Even saying that while the salaries of CEOs are rising exponentially, the salaries of freshers are not rising at the same level, saying that that economic reality is something that the young of the country have to contend with.
Yeah, if I've got your question right, Ayushman, the point over here which is being made by the detractors of the CMD of the Larsen Toubro and also by Narayan Murthy earlier, the point which they're making is very simple, that there is no connection between working non-stop and increasing the productivity. And, abroad also, companies have understood the need for a work-life balance, which is why holidays and annual leaves, weekly offs are considered to be sacrosanct. Over here too, as India is slowly beginning to grapple with this mental health issue, and Deepika Padukone was one of the first ones to react and attack him also yesterday, to be followed up by many other people. There are two grounds on which it is being objected to. One, of course, is on health grounds, that people do need that time off, because that's the only way that they can increase the productivity. And second is that there are labor laws in the country, and as per the labor laws, you can only clock in 40 hours of work in a week or 9 hours in a day. And therefore, the suggestions which are coming in from Mr. Narayan Murthy and the L&T chairperson is preposterous. It's against the laws of our country, and there is no guarantee that it is actually going to increase the productivity. And in fact, it's not just the health experts, it's even their own peers, like Harsh Goenka, for example, who has objected to this entire idea of 90 hours of work in a week, plus, even a Sunday you should be coming into work.
Absolutely. We're getting callers, to share their views. Pallavi, I'm joined by Rajkumar, who's calling in from Pune. Rajkumar, how do you react to what the L&T chairperson has said, that you need to work 70 hours a week in order to meet the criteria for L&T? Also, even saying that you need to work on Saturday and Sunday because, in his words, how long will you stare at your wife is the pitch coming in from the L&T chief?
I'm clear. So, by the way, good evening all. I do not advocate this 90 hours a week. That is like how much? 12 and a half hours a day, which is like you don't even get time to eat or do whatever. But 90 hours a week, I don't think it makes any feasibility looking at how much work do you have. Do they have this much work that you want people to work 90 hours a week? Point number one. Number two is, if you really have this much work, then I think you should add people, more people, make sure that work-life balance is managed. Just because he is not looking at his wife, he can't stare at his wife, does not mean that everybody will only do this. And the other thing is, we don't just stare at our wives. We talk to them, we talk to our family, we have other work. There are other chores that we do, and it is not just that you, when you're at home, you only stare at your wife or do something. And I absolutely opposite to whatever he has spoken, and this is wrong. And I think people should, mostly women should make a noise about how can somebody at this level talk about what do you do staring at your wife?
That statement has completely not gone down well with netizens across the country. And Rajkumar is very right when he says that there seems to be a disregard for work-life balance when it comes to the veterans of India Incorporated. I'm also joined by Hemant calling in from Dehradun. Hemant, what do you have to say to what the L&T chairperson said?
Well, thank you for letting me speak. I would just say that, the sort of things the specimen is frankly talking about is seriously deplorable. I mean, see the amount of CTC which he himself is earning and the amount of pennies which they are paying to their employees, first of all. The other gentleman in question who, created that 70-hour controversy, I'm sorry to say, but his organization has actually forwarded the employee remuneration increase to like quarter of the next financial year. So that shows they are plainly more bent on sucking out life out of their employees rather than, looking for some sort of employee welfare. And, there has to be a decent balance post-COVID, for example. And, everybody has a right to, putting in a full stop where exactly it is needed. And this is like a forced labor which is happening, and I certainly would like to see labor laws actually stepping into this thing. There is a fine thin line, but it needs to be taken care of.
Right. So many netizens are also citing the fact that how in the European Union an employee can actually take their employers to court if they contact them after 5 p.m. And those kind of labor laws, very strict labor laws placed in the European Union as well. And this was also a point of criticism which even came in from Ratan Tata when he took over Land Rover as well as Jaguar, saying that the work culture ends at 5 o'clock. So to create a balance is something that this debate is going towards. But clearly the L&T chairman, as per the netizens, on one extreme end of the spectrum when it comes to this entire debate. We're getting more callers joining us on the broadcast. I'm also joined by Neerav Shah calling in from Rajkot. Neerav, what do you have to say to what the L&T chairperson said?
I am 100% agree with L&T chairman. And as a India, we can't just statement we took it out in our. But I think it is whatever they said by the chairman is we have to take up as a larger context, And as a India, we have to develop. We have to become a developed country, so we have to work hard definitely. Otherwise, there is we nowhere with comparison with the China. Chinese people are definitely work more than us, so we have to work hard if we want to achieve the developed country. What I feel.
Right. So to achieve Viksit Bharat by 2047, which is the Prime Minister's message, Neerav Shah is of the opinion that we should listen to what the L&T chairperson said. Thank you, Neerav, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your perspective. Shankar is calling in from Bengaluru. Shankar, you're from the IT capital. The IT sector seeing the largest wage growth among multiple sectors across the country. How do you react to what the L&T chairperson said?
Yeah, I would like to go beyond what L&T chairman has said. See, why there should be a limit at all for 90 hours? So long one has the interest, one should be carry on the work as long as he wants, as long as the group wants, so that we can achieve something by 2047, the Viksit Bharat.
Right, so you're saying 90 hours is not enough, it should go even above 90 hours. Interesting take. I'm also joined by Vijay Chandar, who's also calling in from Bengaluru. Vijay, another resident of your city has said that 90 hours is not enough. We need to work more to achieve a developed India. How do you react to that?
I think this is absolutely an absurd suggestion. You cannot expect human beings to work for 90 hours. You know, that age when people, you don't have to be an affluent nation. The times have changed. People have require their own time and space available for their own private family life and everything. So, in order to achieve, you put in a lot of work, will not get you there. You have to put in the right quality of work. Mm-hmm. So I don't agree with this 90-hour suggestion. I think this is more of making this kind of statements. Is only to attract from making comments like this. This I don't consider it a
absolutely, it's a new age adage as well. And in this entire debate, a lot of netizens are saying you only get ahead by working smart, not by working copious amounts of hours towards a particular goal. Also, many netizens pointing to the case of Anna Sebastian Pereil, the 26-year-old Ernst & Young employee who passed away in July 2024, and her family saying that she was overworked in her new job. Let's get another caller. I'm joined by Daipayan, who calling in from Bengaluru, the IT capital of the country. Daipayan, how do you react to what the L&T chairperson said? 90-hour work week, is that what is required of the youth of the country?
Well, if you ask any manager who makes people work on the ground level, it is a big no. First and foremost, it is scientifically proven that you are best productive until a certain time, and then your brain goes towards different things. One. And the second thing is, as an individual, and if you have families and everything, the big names, the chairpersons and everything, their lifestyle is very different from what we have, right? There are interests which we have to meet in order to meet the needs of the family. And if we give 90 hours to the office, again, you have a lot of people who spoke about the right remuneration. I think if you provide the right remuneration, probably you can ask people to do it. But if you want people to do a certain job in a certain amount of money, at the same time you say that, you have to give more hours, that doesn't work well. And the other thing is, which has been bought by many callers, I guess, is the female employees. Because I have managed female employees wherein there are multiple reasons why they need a certain leverage. And that is very much important, is because of the fact that these women employees are not only giving time to the family and the office, but they are also doing many other things which we aren't aware of, be it part of NGOs or whatsoever. So I think every individual should have that opportunity to give time to themselves to something else in life other than just thinking of office. And someone also pointed out the fact that in traffic in Bangalore, when you go to office and you come back from office, you're pretty much exhausted and done for the day. So, there are times wherein it has taken 3 hours for me to travel 10 kilometers.
Right.
So with that, if you ask a 90 hours day, by the time an individual reaches office, he's exhausted already. So before proposing these things, I think we need to look at a bigger picture, When we talk about development cannot be only 90 hours. Development also has to be the infrastructure which gives us that opportunity to work for that 90 hours without, draining ourselves.
Right.
So this is what I would have to say.
Right. Thank you, Daipayan, for sharing your perspective. And several of my friends living in Bengaluru say that when it comes to the traffic in Bengaluru, it's by the time you reach home, in just a couple of hours, you have to go back to work, given the amount of time people spend in traffic in that city. But clearly, this debate is only getting started. The entire 90 work week debate reignited by the L&T chairperson. Many netizens, even they're sending us their comments right now as well, saying that while the cost of living continues to climb, wages have not risen at a commensurate rate for many individuals across the country. Also, many people taking exception to the statement that he made that how long will you stare at your wife, calling the remark extremely misogynistic as well. So that debate has been reignited by the L&T chairperson as netizens continue to accuse him of not understanding the economic reality that the young people of the country live in.